What's up, everybody? How are you doing? We're back live action. Yee! Exactly. I want to introduce to you guys a good friend of mine. This is Wendy Sweet. And Wendy and I have known each other for years and years and years and years and years. Well, we're not that old, are we? Hey, easy. We're like 6 months apart in age. Is that right? And I'm 39. So Wendy and her brother Billy, who you met on the last episode of Invest in Yourself, Wendy and her brother Billy own a company called CarolinaHardMoney.com, right? There you go. And Wendy she's taught at my events for years, since the very first event I did back in 2004. And we were partners in a business, and she went into the seminary. And am I stealing your thunder here? I'm sorry. She went into the seminary, and she graduated, and she got bona fide. So now she can marry you and bury you, right? There you go. And I just told her earlier today, I said, when it comes my time, I want you to bury me. She starts acting like she's digging with a shovel, you know. But anyway, so Wendy knows all about hard money. Nobody I know that knows any more about hard money than Wendy does. So we're here to talk about creating some passive income with hard money and private money. So Wendy, why don't you start out and tell them a little bit about yourself? And guys, I'm sorry we're passing the mic here. Last minute, this microphone right here went out on us, so we're having to pass this mic back and forth. So that's kind of the way it goes when you're dealing with technology. So Wendy, take it away.
I'll take it away. I'm really happy to be here. I always kind of refer to myself as a recovering mortgage broker, because we did start in the mortgage business together doing conventional loans.
Yeah.
And from doing conventional loans, we kind of fell into doing hard money loans. We just found a niche and were able to fill it. And the way that we were able to do the hard money loans is, you know, when you're qualifying people for loans, you're able to figure out how much money they have in the bank. Yeah. That's always a plus. I wish I had known that when I was single. But anyway, But anyway, it gave us an opportunity to really get to know people, to see how much money they had. So we were able to convince these folks that we can not only just sell them a house and help them rehab it, but we can also help them make money by loaning that money as a passive investment, rather than taking on the risk of rehabbing a house and doing all that work, taking the chance of the walls not being as solid as you thought when you walked in, and also having that house as collateral, so it was a fairly safe loan as well.
That's awesome.
It's a great investment.
So guys, that is the first thing. What's up? That is the first thing that we're talking about here, is using hard money and private money to become a passive investor, okay? Now, there's a lot of different things you can do, a lot of different ways you can do it. You can originate the loans yourself. You can invest in a company. I shouldn't say in a company, but use a company like Wendy's company, Carolina Hard Money. You could be a broker, which is what they do, as well as loan their own money. They use my money. They use my mom's money, my wife's money. My wife's one of your biggest lenders,
That's
isn't she?
right, and your child's money.
My child's money. Noah, who is 10 years old, he's a hard money lender, and he's got he's the toughest one, huh? So anyway, Wendy, why don't you start out and tell them a little bit about the difference between hard money and private money, and then the different ways that they can be a hard money or private money lender and set up some passive income.
I'll be happy to. Larry asked me a question this morning. He said, do you know the difference between hard money and private money? And I started to answer him, and he went, 6%. And he's about right. I mean, that's right. That's exactly right. Hard money and private money are really one and the same. When you go with a hard money lender, you're usually going with a company, whereas a private money lender is somebody who happens to have money in a bank, 401k, IRA, HSA, ESA, health savings account, educational savings account, and just cash money under the mattress. So just having the ability to have money to loan makes you a private money lender, right?
Now, if you don't have any money, what can you do to create that passive type income if you are starting with no money?
If you're starting with no money, then you need to steal it. No. Okay. There's great ways to start with money. The way to do that is to be a broker. And that's what we did. I didn't have hundreds of $1,000s in my pockets, although I have a lot now. Right?
Absolutely.
We wish that were all
More
true.
zeros.
Yeah, that's right. That's all we're looking for is more zeros. But what we did is we started out as brokers. And the way that I did that, I explained that a little earlier, that I was able to see how much money people had in the bank, and I was able to approach them. Hey, would you like to earn 12, 15% on your money? I can help you do that. So that was how we got started. But you can start by really just asking your family and friends if they have money, whether it's in a 401k or some sort of retirement, and they still like you. Hopefully they'll like you even better after you tell them this. But my first question, the way I ask people is I always say, are you earning at least 15% on your money that you have? I'm telling you, their ears perk right up when they hear that, because everybody wants to earn that kind of money. And you really can do this if you put them in a safe loan. But you have to do the underwriting and all the things that go along with that, which is a lot of things that we teach on our website in this program that you're coming out with, right? Yeah, the Hard Money Million's coming out, right? Oh, we won't tell anybody. Okay, it's a secret. We'll have to kill them if we tell them any more about that. But
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's our favorite answer. Okay, so that's the first thing you do is you have to ask them. The other thing I always tell people too, if they're whether they're looking for money, whether they're looking to lend money, whether they're looking to lend other people's money, is if you're a member at your local RIA group, your Real Estate Investor Association, going to those meetings, I always tell people I would have a T-shirt that says "Got Money" with a question. Remember the milk campaign? I'd have "Got Money" and then put my information on it so people would know that I have money that I want to lend. And I would always get up at the beginning, announce that I'm a hard money broker and I'm out paying 15% interest rate on your money. People will come up to you and want to give you money to lend. So there's always ways of making that happen. You have to ask, because if you don't ask, the answer is
No.
That's right. It's always no if you don't ask. So you have to ask for that opportunity.
It's like playing poker.
That's
You can't win it if you ain't in it.
That's right.
I want to share a couple of things. When you're looking for people that have money and talking to them about loaning out their money, maybe you were broker it or whatever, you also need to be aware that most people are scared of 15%. 15%, what kind of scam is this? I mean, I've talked to guys before that have used their friends, their family money, and when they said 15%, they were like really turned off. But then they talked about 5, 6, 7%. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do 6%. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
It really is. So, Wendy, would you mind spending a few minutes and tell them a little bit about the person out there that has money or has access to money? What do they need to look for in, number one, a borrower, and number two, a property, to make sure that their passive income investment is a solid investment?
Okay, that's great. And you did put them in order. You put number one, the customer, the borrower, and about your credit score. Yes, we care about your ability to pay. We care willingness to pay. Larry and I were sharing some things, and we used to pull credit report on everybody to see what their credit score is, and that's important to know. But what's more important for us is to pull a background check on people. We want to know exactly what their character has been in the past and what it is now. Their tax liens would show up on the credit on the a background check. Anything that has happened in the past in their life shows up on that background check, and we'll question them on anything that we see, because we really, really want to know what happened in their life and how they handled it, because people change when it comes to money. people's characters change, and it also their true. Let me say, the true character shines through when it comes to money. A lot of people were caught up in what happened, starting in 2007. A lot of people went through foreclosures and losses. And, there's a lot of really good people that got caught in a really bad situation. And, just because you've been through a foreclosure doesn't mean you don't pay your bills. But we want to know what happened and the background, what's happened through that. Even
it only means you didn't pay that bill.
That's correct. That's correct. We really want to know what happened and how you were able to dig yourself out of what happened to you. That's really, really important. The other thing that we really care about is the property. Many of the people that we loan their money for, when they first start with us, they want to see the property. They want to, some of them even want to be able to drive to it and take a look at it. And they're very interested in, exactly how much it's going to cost to fix it up and what the person's plans are with the house and that kind of thing. And in the beginning, that's soothing for a lot of people who want to lend their money. But the bottom line is it's all a numbers game. And once you know the value of that property, what it will sell for, not really what the appraisal is, but what it'll sell for. Once you know the value of the selling value of that property and the numbers of what it would cost to fix it up, you can do the math and figure out whether or not it's something you'd want in your portfolio should you have to take it back. And I can tell you in most cases, you don't even have to take houses back. We've done over 850 loans in the past, decade. And in that, we've had to take 18 houses back. In every one of those cases, except for one, we got a deed in lieu of foreclosure. We never had to go through the foreclosure process because most investors care about their credit. They care about their character. They care about whether or not they're going to be able to get another loan. So they're going to do everything they can to make it easier for you to be able to take that house back, put it on the market, sell it, and then not only get your money back, but you get the profit off of it because remember, you're in it at 65 to 70% of the after repaired value. So
65 to 70%.
And 65 is better. The more equity you have in a house, the better off you are. So you want to be careful about that. And, when we're measuring how much we're going to loan, whether it's 65 or 70%, we not only base that on the borrower and the property, but we base a lot of that on the days on market as well. You want the days on market to be as short as possible. And you get that number from an appraisal when you have that appraisal done. You can also get that from a local real estate agent that can pull it up on any MLS system. So it's good to have one of those in your pocket, the MLS person.
That's true. Now, what's more important, an appraisal or a CMA and a good valuation from a realtor?
Okay. I am a realtor, so I can say this. A realtor. My lips get stuck when I talk too fast. Okay. Yes. No, he does. It doesn't bother me a bit. So anyway, the important thing to us is really an appraisal. We care about an appraisal. CMAs are great. BPOs are great, comparative market analysis or a broker's price opinion, they're great. But an appraiser really understands the deductions and the additions that need to be taken on an appraisal. How much are you going to give for this garage? How much are you going to take away for this particular amount of square footage? What about the site evaluation? They know a lot more about what's going on right there within that neighborhood as compared to other houses just like that one. I can tell you when an agent pulls comps for you, they can't help it, but they're going to pull the best ones they can find. It's just going to happen that way. And it's not always an exact comparable that an appraiser would use because, an appraiser has done, 330 in the state of North Carolina. You have to have like 332 before you're a bona fide appraiser that you've done on your own. So they've done a lot of investigation and they've just got a lot of things that they can hold as a true comparable on a house where a real estate agent won't have all that information. I'm not saying throw the agent information out the window, because there are agents out there that really have their finger on the pulse of what's going on in that neighborhood, even on that block, in that city. And it's really important to have a good real estate agent to help you as well. But we go off an appraisal.
So when you're talking to the agent, what kind of questions are you asking the agent? Because it's my understanding that you want a value, a number to put on that property to base your loan to value on, of a pretty quick sale.
That's exactly right. And that's exactly what we say to them is, how much will this house sell for in 30 days? We don't say the word quick sale normally, because quick sale to someone who lives in the mountains of North Carolina would be 6 months. That's a quick sale. Ask us how we know. So the other thing we want to make sure is that they're thinking the exact same thing we're thinking. So we want to make sure we use those particular words and say, what is it going to sell for in 30 days? Not what should we list it for? And I say that to them. I don't know. I don't care what you want to list it for. What will it sell for? Because that's really what the loan needs to be based on, because those are realistic numbers.
That's a really, really good point. It really is. Wendy, do you have any final comments or things you'd like to share with our listeners, which means your time's about up, to help them in creating some sort of a passive income with hard money, or just give them some ideas to be thinking of and to do more research about?
Yes. The first thing I want to do is I want to plug my company, Carolina Hard Money. And really, whether or not you're from our area or wherever it is that you will feel comfortable loaning your money, or whoever you might be comfortable loaning your money with, you are always safer to find a company like mine that will help guide you through the lending that you do. We train our lenders. I mean, we want our lenders to be involved in what we're doing, because the more educated they are, the much easier it is for us to be able to do our job. So we'll help them do that. But the other thing too is, everybody has a healthy fear about lending their money, and they very well should. The point is, you really need to do your homework. And we talked about two things. We talked about making sure that borrower is some good character and that can pay it back for you. The other thing is making sure that the house is something that you would want in your portfolio if you would have to take that house back. If you're lending out on your own, if you, Larry, just decide you wanted to loan money, then that house really needs to be an important factor for you. If you're using a company like mine, it really doesn't matter if the company that you're using to underwrite the loan is underwriting it properly and making sure that value is there. You should have a healthy fear. You should ask questions. We're happy to answer any questions that you might have, whether you use us or not. We're happy to answer any of those questions. You can also go to our website. We have a really good FAQ on the website that talks about hard money and how it works and things you need to be concerned about. And then we have one of our bonus today is a hard money lender checklist that will help them figure out exactly what it is that they should be asking and getting started.
That's great. That's great. And just as a final note, Wendy was talking about you need to have a healthy fear. I have a philosophy: never make a loan on a house that you wouldn't buy for that same amount of money, because you may end up owning it.
Well put.
Am I right?
Well put.
Thanks a lot, Wendy. I really appreciate it. It's awesome. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Randolph, I believe it is. Randolph is in the house.